Hey everyone, welcome back. If this is your first time here, my name is Alex, and today I have prepared a short 6-minute routine for our posture. So most of us end up rounding our shoulders forwards just because everything we do these days happens right in front of us. Head looks down, we end up with pain in our neck. So today I've prepared a short routine to try to reverse it. So we're going to try to open through our chest and tighten up our back. So our back muscles are pulling our shoulders back. This is also going to lift up our head. So all the equipment you will need is a foam roller if you have one. If you don't have one, you can just use towels or anything similar. We're just going to be using it to lie on it. And an elastic band or weights. If you don't have an elastic band and you don't have weights, that's okay. You can just skip that exercise. Otherwise, everything else is just going to be done with our body weight. Let's get started. So we're going to be doing each exercise for 1 minute or 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other side. We're going to start with lying down on our stomach. My arms are to the sides. I make sure that I have 90 degrees in my elbow joint. And from here, I'm going to be placing my shoulder down on the ground. I'm going to be opening as much as I can, and I'm trying to reach as far back as I can with my leg. And this is just a chest stretch, so you should feel it stretch through the front of your chest and in your shoulders. We're going to stay here for 30 seconds. And switching sides. And coming back to the middle. For our second exercise, we're going to be using the foam roller. So I'm just going to put it down on the ground. And from here, I'm going to be lying down on it, making sure that it supports my upper back and my head is rested on it as well. And from here, I really want to make sure that I'm not arching. So I'm rounding my back so the whole spine is down on the foam roller. And from here, I'm going to be opening my arms to the sides as much as I can. And I'm trying to touch my elbows down to the ground and lift up and all the way, trying to keep my hands on the ground. And back down. And we're going to do this for a minute. So up, 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 trying to open as much as we can through your chest. If this is not hard enough for you, you can get a foam roller that's bigger, or you can just stack more towels or whatever you're lying on right now. Opening, opening, opening. So I'm actively using the muscles in my back to open my arms as much as I can. If this is too easy for you, you can also be using weights in your hands. So you have something that pushes you down a little bit more, just in case you don't feel it at all in your chest. Few more repetitions. And last one. Very nice. For our next exercise, I'm going to be using an elastic band. So I'm making sure that I stand on it with both my feet. I also want to make sure that my back, it does not round. So I'm trying to arch here as much as I can. And from here, I'm going to be pulling my arms back and up as high as I can, trying to keep my elbows as close to my chest as possible. And this is just a strengthening exercise for our back muscles. So it tightens and strengthens the muscles between our shoulder blades and also in our lower back. So it just allows our shoulders to go a little bit further back when we're standing up. like I said before. So our back is tight and our chest is loose, rather than having a tight chest and a loose back, which makes us round the way we don't really want to be rounding. So we have a little bit left here. Just keep on pulling as far back as you can, squeezing everything between your shoulder blades. Two, and one. Very nice. Shaking it off a little bit. For our next exercise, we're going to also do a strengthening exercise for our back and all the small muscles we have there. So I'm lying down on the ground. And from here, the same starting position as in our first exercise, 90 degrees here and 90 degrees here. My head is down on the ground, and from here I'm going to be lifting up my arms as high as I can. And we're going to be doing that for a minute. And as I do this, I want to be making sure that my hands, they're lifted up higher than my elbows. So as I lift, I want it to be looking like this, rather than it looking like this. Yeah, so we're leading with our wrists. So we're working. We have a minute here. If you need a break in the middle of your minute, that's fine, just have a break. Otherwise, we're going to continue for a little bit more. So you should now be really feeling it between your shoulder blades. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we are just going to stretch our neck. Just because the neck is a big part of this whole situation going on here. So we often end up having very tight traps, because when we round forwards like this, our shoulders also often want to come closer to our face. So we really want to make sure that we have long traps so we can have our shoulders far down. So all we're going to do is just 30 seconds for each side. So one hand is either down on the mat. If this is not enough for you, I'm going to be placing my hand under my shin. And from here, I'm going to be pulling my head to the side. And we're just going to hold here for 30 seconds. It is really, really important for us to stretch our necks in our everyday life, just because we do a lot of work in front of our computers, look a lot at our phones, and it's just really, really good to make sure that we don't get very tight in our necks, just because that brings a lot of pain. And switching sides. And coming back up to the middle. And we're just going to do 2 circles one way and just 2 circles the other way, just to loosen it up a little bit. And the very last stretch we're going to do is just an upper back stretch, because when we round here, our upper back, which is like this part here, becomes very rounded. So we want to make sure that we have enough mobility in there so we can actually open up, so we don't get this kind of, you've probably seen people with age get these very rounded backs, and it's actually something that happens to their spine. So we just want to prevent that and make sure that we have a lot of mobility the other way. So we are just going to do our simple puppy pose stretch. So my hands are outstretched in front of me. I want to be making sure that I'm rotating the insides of my elbows up to the ceiling, and I'm going to be putting my chest down on the ground. And this should be stretching your shoulders and stretching your upper back. If you don't feel it in your upper back, that's fine. We're just going to be working on it until you do. Usually when we just start stretching and have very tight shoulders, we actually don't feel this stretch in our upper back. If you don't feel it here, you can be using a block or a book or anything. And we have about 30 seconds left here. And only 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. So this is all I had for us today. This is a short routine you can do every second day, or it can be something you do after your workout or you do in the morning. Thank you so much for watching, and if this helped you in any kind of way, please consider subscribing. Otherwise, have the most wonderful day. See you next time.